was a rough loss. That was a dramatic game. That kind of game deserves this kind of music. Which is about to end any second now as we begin Sharks Night Shift.
Broadcasting live and worldwide. Here's Brody Brazil.
Yo. 3, 2, 1, and go for Brody. So, 3-1 doesn't tell the story of the night. Honestly, though, 0-0 after 20, that wasn't accurate. 1-1 after 2, that really wasn't accurate either. There were multiple chances both ways in the first period. It was an amazing thing that nobody had scored by then. Šimek with a good look on a breakaway. Gregor had the one-on-none, couldn't bury it. Credit to goaltending tonight both ways. And speaking of that, I mean, Hertl, fantastic, a journeyman now through this league, coming back to San Jose, only getting the opportunity with the Barracuda, but now, because of the injury to James Reimer, he's in there tonight in a back-to-back situation. And, how much do I expect things to change from now until Saturday and Sunday? Probably not a lot. Probably looking at a Kakkonen/Dell weekend between Ottawa and Buffalo. And that's just fine, right? I mean, look at Kakkonen last night, pitching a shutout in Montreal, and Dell tonight. And the way that Toronto scored. The first one, the Matthews goal, the way that he was set up out front, that is a quality goal scorer's goal in this league. Unbelievable deflection, rolling puck that he was able to settle down and redirect. Obviously, that's one goal. Engvall's goal coming on the Hertl turnover, which we'll discuss that in just a second, the nature of, a mistake late in a game like that. But these were not cheapy goals at all. Those are the only two that Dell is in there for. Obviously, 3 paints a different picture, but that last one, the Mitch Marner empty netter, that's just insurance at that point. And by the way, for Mitch Marner, congratulations. 18 straight games with a point. That takes him to before Halloween. Think about how long ago Halloween was. And every single time out, he's registered a point. Win or loss for the Leafs, and it's mostly been win for them. They've had a great month of November. But setting a Leafs record, I think that's, something to take note of. Anytime you're setting a Toronto Maple Leafs franchise record, yeah, you deserve the conversation. Sharks go back to 500 on the road, 6-6. But again, a score that you're not happy with, a result that you're frustrated by, but an effort that at least you can carry over. Now, second half of a back-to-back with travel, all things included, I thought the Sharks were right there tonight. And it was their last game here in the month of November, obviously final day. You think about the great Novembers that individuals have had. Even Nieto come on scoring goals lately. Logan Couture entering tonight had 9 goals in his last 11 games. And he had the helper tonight for Nieto's first. The Sharks' only goal, I should say. Carlson, the month that he's had. Obviously, last couple here held off the score sheet, but an unbelievable pace of a month. And the penalty kill, which, don't get me wrong, has been probably the brightest spot on the Sharks this season and last. Of all the things you could point to and say that's our calling card, the Sharks penalty kill being among the best in the league, first, if not second, if not third, I mean, that is something to hang your hat on. And the penalty kill was perfect again tonight, 3 for 3. Sharks didn't draw any penalties, which I'm not saying anything different that they should, that there were penalties missed necessarily. I off the top of my head, I can't really think of one that I would have liked for them. But there is something about when you're playing a certain way, you're drawing penalties. That established tonight. I thought the scoring chances were there for San Jose. Minus, they didn't even have to almost create a whole lot. It was that wide open, especially in the first period. But the thing about this month of November, right, is that the team only banked 5 wins off it. They were 3-8-1 after October. And now they're 8-14-4. So let me do the math. out of here. 5, 6, and 3. A November where they went 5, 6, and 3. And they also had a really busy schedule. I mean, this month of November has pretty much been every other day for the Sharks, like almost the entire time. And tonight, second half of a back-to-back, another back-to-back to start off December. But it's been a pretty frequent pace for this team in this month. And in fact, if I'm correct, I think the month of November, of all the Sharks' calendar months this season, I think this month has the most games played on the schedule. So a busy period, a great period of success for individuals, team going 5, 6, and 1, almost 500, like treading water, but not 500 and not better than 500, which is rough when you got Carlson, having a 20-point month and Logan scoring now in still 9 of 12 games, his last dozen games. So probably going to dive into the chat even earlier tonight. This might be a shorter episode of Night Shift because, what more can you say about tonight's game? Dell was good. Dell was great. Tomas Hertl's turnover that led to the Engvall goal. Yeah, I get it. Cross ice pass. I see what he was trying to do. He said as soon as he let go of the puck, kind of had that remorseful feeling on his face. But I don't know. I just, for the blame that he'll take, and he's already taken, my fault, I cost us. First off, that's what a leader does. Second off, in reality, if a game comes down to just that and the other team capitalizes on it, that's just the way the game played out, right? Taking the blame for a loss is like, yeah, I allowed 3 goals tonight, or I was a -4 out there. Hertl making one errant pass that, look, the pass didn't put the puck in the back of the net. The Leafs did. It put them in a position to do that, a better position, but I get what Hertl's saying, and I get the responsibility, and I admire that. But at the same respect, I think we're all smart enough to see that, mistakes like that do happen once in a while, and the Leafs are a great team. They converted on it. Look at the way they've been playing lately. 6 wins in a row now. And I think the point streak, is that up to 11 game point streak for Toronto? So, all right, let's do the live chat. Brutus thought the Sharks played really good, did not catch all of it. Deller looked good. PK can't be slowing down, though. There were a lot of good chances on that last power play. And look, you're going up against Toronto's power play. This is not, no offense to Montreal, this is not Montreal's power play. This is, look at the names when Toronto's out there 5-on-4, who they put out there. Wasn't a shutout by Dell, still outstanding. Unfortunate turnover there at the end, but solid effort. Sharks just got to remember to keep it simple. Let's go get Ottawa. Hey, Triple G, did you predict a Dell shutout tonight? Did you say that last night in the live chat? And I'm not saying that and trying to call you out. I'm just saying in how well Dell played, right? Yeah, of course. He allowed a couple of goals, allowed 2. They were both great plays, but not far off from a shutout. I guess that's my point. Played really well. I think that's the instinct you had, and that's what played out. George says this one stings real bad. I agree. Look, I think there's been a couple times this year where the Sharks deserved a better fate in the game result. But that is the rough part of kind of being an unsettled team like they are. Maybe have there been a lot of games this year? Let me say it like this. Have there been a lot of games this year that the Sharks won that they shouldn't have? Probably not. Instead, there's been a few that they could have won but didn't. This is one of those games where you check the score, you're like, welp, another loss. But man, if you watched, you know how they played hard and like a contending team. Yeah, what a heartbreak. That's well said, Laura. I think a lot of people will look at 3-1. Oh, okay, Marner and Matthews scored. Okay, yeah, but one was an empty netter. It was that tight. That's a great point. Brody, I love how you guys showed the clip from Seattle, their post-game show. I actually thought the lady was cursing and wondering how did that get past the censors. That was Allison Lucan, who said last night in the Kraken and Kings game, and there was like 14 total goals, 12 goals, I think, combined in the second period. And the host of their intermission report said, "What are we watching out here?" And she goes, "I don't know. This is just a bunch of shinny hockey." And I think she kind of sped through the pronunciation, but if you're around it, I mean, you're like, "Oh, she said shinny." Well, a lot of people thought she said she didn't say it. And then the host goes, "Well, we apologize for that." He thought she really said it. And then the third person in their tandem also said, "Well, I didn't know that. I never heard of that." And then, look, I'm not going to put myself on some stupid pedestal. That's, but I knew what shinny hockey was. If you're around this long enough, you're going to hear that term. It's like pickup basketball. Did you play in high school? Did you play at the rec center? No, I played pickup basketball. And you know what pickup basketball is. I'm going to pass it to that guy over there. I'm never going to see that ball back. He's going to shoot it. She's going to shoot it. It's no rules. It's no offense. It's a lot of scoring usually, a lot of shots, no defense sometimes. That's shinny hockey. Maybe some other day I'll use the word that you thought she used. If we see one of those games, the next time we see one of those, yeah, I'll call it shinny hockey. See, everybody wants me to say it. You want me to say it, don't you? Good defense. Amazing goaltending on both sides. Couldn't watch the game for some reason. Adrian, why not? Had some tech issues? What's going on here? Great game despite the loss. Didn't expect the action-packed first period. I totally agree, Kona Island. Hello, Jaden Rogers. I still think with a performance like this, Dell, and if Kakinen or Reimer don't do as well from this point, that can result in one of those guys getting traded or an increase in value on Dell. I think, what do you want out of this? Like Dell played well. And what if Dell on this road trip gets a second start and does something equally impressive? I mean, you have to recognize that, right? And I think if you're the Sharks, I mean, look, Brutus, you make a good point. At some point, you've got to convert individual success and, trending up into getting something out of that. So in prior Shark seasons, you're like, great, we have another asset and we're headed to the playoffs and we might need this asset. In the current Shark season, we've got value. What are we going to do with value? But good for Dell to force this issue. Good for him to stick with it, get the opportunity, be a team player, be in the AHL with the Barracuda, take this opportunity, get the call up, go play against Toronto, play his heart out against Toronto. Good individual story, and especially a guy who's already been, I say with the Sharks before. Looked to me like Dell was playing for a permanent tandem spot. He played solid tonight. Let's hope he can keep it up. And I think you look at all the storylines tonight, and it's like, unfortunate, negative, frustrating. If you do sit on the Aaron Dell story and narrative, okay, maybe tonight you got something. Maybe you got something for weeks and months to come. And I don't know what the James Reimer situation is, by the way. I obviously hope he's back in there, and I hope for him and the team and everything else. But it's interesting that Reimer missed 2 games. They said, no big deal. He'll come back. He'll make that start after Friday after Thanksgiving. He did. Allowed some uncharacteristic goals, like 2 5-hole goals against Los Angeles. Next thing you know, not in there on this road trip in either game so far. Would he join them halfway? Is he just going to stay home the entire time? I would prefer to play it safe with him. But it's another one of those situations like we saw last year where, the initial thought was, okay, this might be a game or 2, and then it turns out to be 5 or 6 or more. Sharks go Sharks, says Charles. I believe, Charles, you're in Louisiana. I think you've mentioned that before. Was it me, or did this sort of feel like a playoff caliber game towards the middle of the third period? Yeah, I think it did, and I think that's why the one mistake, and that is like a playoff game. One turnover is the turning point of the game. Fernando's always like Dell. His aggressiveness takes away a lot of the net, and I think that's confidence that translates into aggressiveness and his positioning. Hertl did take responsibility for it. Feel bad for him. I get the feeling he's going to go off next game to make up for it. hey, you know what? If you're the Sharks, get some rest, have this chip on your shoulder, and go do to Ottawa what you did last time to them at the tank. It was a pretty decisive win for the Sharks in that one. It was at 5-1. I know none of the players are tanking, but as a fan, I have to admit the Sharks are entertaining, playing competitively while still staying in the Bedard sweepstakes. I haven't even kind of checked on that. Let's take a look. Let's wait for it. Let's give you a little something here while I look this up. Here we go. Oops. Put that over there. Bring that up. Sorry, I just hit a hard stop on that one. Okay, here is the NHL standings. You got Boston at the top. My goodness, 19-3-0. I saw they were, there it is, 13-0-0 at home. Holy smokes. New Jersey, they went on that run, which obviously catapulted them to have the same point total as Boston. Las Vegas has been consistent the whole time. Here's the team that beat the Sharks tonight. The 35-point Maple Leafs. Like, that's who San Jose just played so well against. What are they in their last? And I said, now the Leafs have. Did I say they've? Tonight was their 5th win in a row. They had won 4 in a row, but 8-0-2 in their last 10. On home ice this year, the Leafs are 8-2-3, plus 14 goal differential. You see what's on the screen here. I mean, this is one of the top 5 teams in the league. Now wait a second. Look what's happening here. Nobody's talking about this. Perhaps this should be the topic of another video here on the Brazil YouTube channel. I'm not ready to produce this one yet, but 2 expansion teams, Seattle from 2 years ago, last year, I should say, and then the Golden Knights from a couple years ago. Are they 6 years into the league? Anyway, time flies. Look at this, though. 2 of the newest arrivals in the league are 3rd and 5th in the entire standings. Something going on there. And they're in the same division. What a pain in the butt that is. Let's see. We got to keep going down. The Sharks are 27th in the league right now. And quite honestly, they're at 20 points. There's a couple teams, obviously, at 17, Columbus, Chicago, and Anaheim right behind them. But this is the team you're playing next. Sharks also have the 24th place team on this road trip. In fact, that's the weekend right there. So a winnable weekend, dare I say, a sweepable weekend for Team Teal. Does this bug anybody else that, the 2 expansion teams and the way the draft goes, that, here they are. What's going on here? Here they are, 1-3 in the league, 3-5 in the league. It's not surprising, seeing what Las Vegas did, how they drafted, how they didn't necessarily go, superstar laden, but they got so many quality players, so many really good second line players. If you have a team full of second liners and second and third and even fourth D-men, that is a really good team if that is your entire team. You don't have the high end and then the role players. You had all formidable skaters on your team. So bring that out of here for a second. Go back to the old live chat. Let's see what Big Bird is saying here. Most excellent job tonight with the show, my brother. Thank you, Big Bird. I appreciate that. Is Reimer still injured? Yeah, apparently. Don't know any new details on it, but we'll see. Yeah, you did call it. You knew he'd play well. I'm happy for that. Anaheim Ducks are not playing well. That is very true. Sharks are suffering from the ghost of the California Golden Seals. Worst team ever with a win-loss tie record of 182, 401, and 115 in their 9 seasons. The retro jerseys are cute, but cursed, I fear. They only wore them once, and I think they're going to wear them again here pretty soon. Tony, why did you bring that stat to my attention? Now I'm going to have to shake that out of my head. That is a bad record, isn't it? Feel the Sharks should keep Dell on the game rooster? I know what you meant. Roster and said Kakinen to the Barracuda. I blame spell check on that one. Love the back and forth with me and Brownie. Any chance he would let me shave his mustache on live TV? We did that once. We did that back in the day. In fact, maybe you didn't see the clip on pregame. 2019, we shaved each other's mustaches off. So I feel like I don't want to copy that, and I don't have one right now, so it wouldn't be fair. But if I did, I would use a weed whacker. Jaden will be there for one of the Calgary games. That's great. Jeff wishes Hertl wouldn't get down on himself. Seems like his frustration gets in the way of his playing. This one, though, it's a one-off. Like a lot of players, you wake up tomorrow morning, you'll feel fine about it. He'll get over that. Brody, why can't you do game night at your house? What? Because everybody's asleep by now at 7:30 usually. Yeah, no one talking about the stroke in Pittsburgh, and that was amazing news. Chris Letang, I had heard about either illness or injury, or the Penguins were not hiding the fact that he was absent, but it didn't sound like anything out of the norm. And then to hear that today, was it around the noon hour, 11 o'clock or so, that came out? And apparently, it's not the first time he's gone through something like this. I wish him the best. Obviously, for his sake, his family's sake, the Penguins, their team, their fans, longtime veteran of this league. I hope this is a reminder to hockey players, to all of us, right? But to hockey players that, sometimes insurmountable things happen to you that are out of your control, that are totally unexpected health-wise. You can't play this off. Hockey players want to play everything off. They want to play right through everything. Did he play before through his prior stroke, or did he not make a big deal out of it? Obviously, I don't think anybody knew of it really, or wasn't on the forefront for anybody here. So I'm just saying, hockey players have the DNA to want to just survive everything, minimize everything. I'm not glad what happened, but I'm glad Chris Letang is getting the proper attention and care that I know he will get. Can't push Reimer too much, especially like they did last year. Well, you know what is interesting, Brutus? Right before he missed his first game with injury, he had made those prior 5 starts in a row. But see, I don't want to build in an excuse there or a blame there. That's not on the coaching staff. If you're telling me a hockey player, a goalie in this league, and it wasn't back-to-backs, I'm pretty sure it was it just every other night for those 5 games? I'd have to go back on the game log. I don't think that's pushing anybody too much. It is more than he was accustomed to, but I don't think that's necessarily pushing anybody too much. Thanks for the plug there, Brutus. Like the stream, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that stuff. Earlier today, I put out a video that I think will interest a lot of you on the Arizona Coyotes' brand new rink, which was mostly approved last night and officially could get the thumbs up and the green light in May on a public referendum vote. Is it a career-ending stroke? I don't know. I mean, I don't know that that's already been established. I certainly hope not. Those Seals retro jerseys are awesome. Hello, Riley. You know what? Before let's do this. Let me call for roll call right now. Where are you at? What are you doing tonight? Most importantly, the location is what I'm going for. We'll do a quick roll call, and then we'll call it a night here on live chat. Since I have my own Sharks Reverse Retro 2, do I like it? And the Sharks wore it the other night in full uniform. How did I like it? Donnell, if I'm saying that right, I thought the renderings that came out initially, were good. I saw what they were doing, but I knew that I wouldn't fully grasp it until there were numbers on the shoulders, names on the back, the pants. I didn't know what color, how they were going to make this, all come together. It came together and did it justice. Like when it came together and you really saw how good it looked, I was very satisfied. So I don't think just seeing the plain jerseys on a rendering, you get an idea of how cool this looks. And the mitts and that seafoam color, They really did a good job. Sharks are not playing good this season. Nope. Hope it gets better soon. Man, spell check is doing damage tonight. Could I do a watch along for the ESPN Plus game against Anaheim coming up? I probably could. That's next week. I only know I only know up until Sunday, to be honest with you. I take it one day at a time, one weekend at a time. Daughter is a big Sharks fan. You bought her an Evolve jersey for Christmas. That's awesome. Follow it up with game tickets at the end of December. Good for you. I hope you guys have a great time. Thank you for doing this. Being on the East Coast, you feel a little bit more connected to San Jose. Yeah, the busy schedule. I mean, I'm ready to go home at this point. But I commit to this, and, I want to do it justice. So with that said, here, let me just do this on Letang. He had a prior stroke in the 13-14 season, missed July to March 2014. But reports today said he felt something wrong inside his head. He knew the symptoms and then went to the test at the hospital. So it's too bad that he had to, deal with that again. But at least he did have that understanding and forewarning. All right, roll call. Here we go. Merced in the house. Why Merced? The valley, unfortunately. Is it just really cold? Is it foggy out there right now? The Shane, 209. Riley's in the 916. Fangirl is in San Jose. Riley is here in Sonora, chilling with your duck, Huey. Riley, how are we looking in Sonora tonight? Are we in full HD? Does it look and sound really good out there? That's all I need to know. Fremont, Felix playing some Chell. Going to chat with a friend on Twitch after. South City as usual. Lawrenceville, Georgia. Hello, Matthew Hunter. Parksburg, Pennsylvania. Philly Burbs, and I don't like any Philly teams. We can bond over that. Visalia's in the house. Fremont. Are you kidding me? Bjorn is in Sydney, Australia. I love it. I wish, Bjorn, I do have the way to do this, but it's not all set up. I wish I could just pop you on the screen right now and you could show me Australia, where it's tomorrow, right? It's tomorrow morning. I don't even know. How do I do Siri on here? Hey, Siri, what's the time in Australia right now? Yep. 2:39 p.m. Canberra? I don't know why it chose that, but it's 2:39. And yes, by the way, I do have my phone in 24-hour time. I know, for some of you that see that, you're like, what is he doing? But I'm a 24-hour time person. I literally have had 24-hour time on all my phones and devices for ever. 30, how old am I? 41? For 31 years, probably. Bjorn, that is so awesome. Literally, that makes me happy to know that you are that far away. You are an ocean away watching Sharks Night Shift. I really appreciate it. And you're tomorrow. We're time traveling. San Jose, Willow Glen. Co and Lincoln, the heart of Willow Glen. CMAR 408, appreciate you for being here. When can see the stealth jersey? Matthew, I don't know. I think this year, I think it's off the rotation for this year. Laura's in Los Angeles. Dean is in Toronto. Leafs D-man Muzzin's career is also in jeopardy. Concussions and spinal injury has him on the long-term IR. PEI, Tony, I'm always happy about that. New York, but from the Bronx. Love it. Benicia, I might get some snow where I live. I just moved back to Mariposa. Oh, yeah, you're going to get some snow starting tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, afternoon, and evening. The storm is a-coming. LA, as usual. San Jose, but depressed because Mexico is out of the World Cup. And Italy's not in it too. There's some, for the U.S. to be in the final round of 16. There are some heavy hitters that are not in the World Cup, that didn't make it or didn't advance, and I would consider Mexico to be one of them. New York City. Yeah, I know I can screen split, but this I got a little bit of a different setup here. Monterey. It is easier to convert that Zulu time. You're right. Your math must be much better than mine. It just after a while, that 19 is 7, 20 is 8, 21 is 9, 22 is 10. So, and plus all the clocks around a TV station or network are always that same way too. Yes, Bjorn, it is tomorrow. You're right. All right. That does it for Old Night Shift. I really appreciate everybody for being here. And we will have a couple days off, and then I'll be back on Saturday. Sharks in Ottawa, then Sharks in Buffalo. Hopefully 2 wins on the weekend. Until then, hey, subscribe to the... Oh, do I have this, by the way? Let me see. Oh, I do have it. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. But most importantly, if you're not already, I would love if you would subscribe to the channel. Tons of great stuff. And potentially some channel news for you in the near future. I'm going to spread some things out a little bit here on YouTube. What am I saying? Well, you'll have to wait and find out. But yeah, subscribe to the channel. Jaden says, why can't I do a 24-hour stream at my house? Maybe I should. Maybe I should. All right. That does it. Everybody have a good night, and I will talk to you soon. Be safe.